There was a time when Yahoo wasn't a website. It wasn't a search engine. It wasn't an app. It wasn't a destination you occasionally visited. Yahoo was the internet itself. That sentence sounds strange today, almost fictional. But for millions of people in the late 1990s, it was literally true. When you opened a browser, it opened to Yahoo. When you wanted to know what was happening in the world, you went to Yahoo. When you wanted email, weather, stock prices, sports scores, or entertainment, you didn't ask where to find them. You already knew. Yahoo, and that position, being the default, is the most powerful position any company can occupy. It is also the most fragile, because when the world changes how it moves, being the gate no longer matters. We like stories where giants fall dramatically, a scandal, a crash, a villain. We want to believe decline is loud, obvious, undeniable. Yahoo offers something much more uncomfortable. Yahoo didn't fall apart. It didn't make one catastrophic mistake. It didn't lose a war. It simply became irrelevant. And irrelevance is the quietest form of death. No alarms, no headlines, no final moment, just fewer reasons to return. To understand how this happened, you have to return to a time when the internet itself was unfinished. In the mid-1990s, the web was expanding faster than anyone could understand. New websites appeared every day, personal homepages, university pages, early news sites, message boards, fan pages. The problem wasn't lack of information. The problem was orientation. There was no map. You didn't search the web the way you do now. You explored it. You followed links from page to page. You relied on recommendations from friends. You bookmarked sites and hoped they would still exist tomorrow. The internet felt infinite and unusable. Jerry Yang and David Filo didn't set out to solve this as a business problem. They were graduate students at Stanford who needed a way to keep track of websites they liked. So they did the simplest thing imaginable. They made a list. At first, it was just links, then categories, then subcategories. It looked like a phone book or a library index. And suddenly, the web felt smaller. Not because there was less information, but because someone had created a path through it. That was Yahoo's true innovation. Not technology, navigation. Yahoo didn't answer questions. It told you where to look. That distinction matters. Because Yahoo didn't replace thinking. It replaced being lost. And that was enough to change everything. As more people used Yahoo, something subtle happened. Yahoo stopped being a tool and became an interface. It wasn't just helping people find websites. It was shaping how people understood the internet itself. The categories defined what felt important. The homepage defined what felt current. Yahoo wasn't reflecting the web. It was framing reality online. This gave Yahoo extraordinary power. If you were a website owner, you didn't compete with other sites first. You competed for visibility on Yahoo. If Yahoo listed you prominently, you existed. If it didn't, you might as well not exist at all. This is what gatekeeping looks like before people call it that. And naturally, money followed. Advertising didn't need to be subtle. Banner ads were large, loud, unavoidable. Companies didn't pay because Yahoo was beautiful. They paid because Yahoo was unavoidable. The business model worked because attention was centralized. Yahoo didn't chase users. Users flowed through Yahoo automatically. This success shaped Yahoo's identity in a very specific way. Yahoo didn't think of itself as infrastructure. It thought of itself as media. Editors mattered. Design mattered. Hierarchy mattered. The internet, in Yahoo's worldview, needed human judgment. This belief wasn't wrong. It was just temporary. The idea of the portal emerged naturally from this worldview. A portal doesn't send you away. It keeps you inside. Yahoo wanted to be the place where your internet session started and ended. That's why it expanded in every direction. Mail, news, finance, sports, shopping, games, communities. Each new service made leaving less necessary. And for a while, this felt like inevitability. By the late 1990s, Yahoo wasn't just successful. It was obvious. The future, according to Yahoo, looked like a bigger Yahoo. More content, more categories, more partnerships. The internet would grow, and Yahoo would sit at its center. Then a different idea appeared, quietly, without banners, without categories, without ambition to be everything. Google didn't want to organize the internet. It wanted to eliminate the need to browse it. This was not a better portal. It was an escape from portals entirely. Google's insight was simple but radical. Instead of humans deciding what mattered, let the structure of the web decide. Links became votes. Patterns became signals. One empty box replaced an entire homepage. This wasn't just faster. It was psychologically different. Browsing feels exploratory. Search feels decisive. And once people experience decisiveness, they don't go back. Yahoo saw Google, but it didn't see Google. It evaluated it through the lens of its own success. Search looked like a useful feature, something to add to a portal, not something that made portals obsolete. This is the core tragedy of Yahoo, not ignorance, misclassification. When Yahoo declined to buy Google, it wasn't being reckless. It was being consistent. From Yahoo's perspective, the internet still needed a front door, and Yahoo already owned it. Why buy a lock when you own the building? Google grew anyway, quietly. Users began skipping the directory, skipping the homepage, skipping the browsing. They went straight to answers. Yahoo noticed the shift, but misread its meaning. It tried to be both portal and search engine. And in doing so, it became worse at both. Search on Yahoo felt cluttered, distracted, secondary. Search on Google felt inevitable. And inevitability is the most dangerous competitor. By the time Yahoo tried to acquire Google again, the roles had reversed. Yahoo was reacting. Google was defining. The price reflected that reality. Yahoo walked away. Again, because accepting the price meant accepting the future. Instead, Yahoo bought familiarity. Companies that looked impressive on paper. Brands that made sense within the old system. Geocities, Broadcast.com. They added scale. They added noise. They did not add direction. Inside Yahoo, life went on. People worked. Projects launched. Revenue continued. This is the most dangerous phase of decline, because nothing feels broken. When systems fail loudly, people act. When systems fail quietly, people optimize them. The real loss wasn't users. It was starting position. People still visited Yahoo, but they didn't begin there. And when you stop being the beginning, you stop being essential. The Microsoft offer in 2008 exposed the gap between perception and reality. From the outside, it looked generous. From the inside, it felt offensive. Yahoo believed it was worth more. That belief was sincere and catastrophically wrong. When Yahoo finally sold its core business years later, the number told the story. Not of collapse, but of erosion. Value didn't vanish overnight. It leaked away. Today, Yahoo still exists, which might be the saddest part. It didn't disappear. It lingered. A brand without gravity. A system without necessity. This is not a story about one company. It is a pattern that repeats whenever a new path replaces an old one. First, someone builds a better route. Then people adopt it quietly. Then the old route becomes ceremonial. Then optional. Then invisible. Every profession does this. Every industry builds its own Yahoo. People master tools. They master workflows. They master steps. And they mistake mastery of the path for mastery of the outcome. AI is the latest shortcut, not because it's magical, but because it collapses steps. Just like search collapsed directories. Just like streaming collapsed schedules. It doesn't replace skill. It replaces detours. Yahoo didn't lose because it was bad. It lost because it was bypassed. The world found a simpler way to reach the same destination. And once that happens, no amount of optimization saves you. So the real question is not, will I take my job? The real question is, what part of my work exists only because the old path still exists? Because when the path disappears, so does the justification. Yahoo was the internet. Until the internet learned how to function without it, that moment felt quiet. It felt reasonable. It felt gradual. And by the time it was obvious, no one bothered to explain what happened. They just stopped coming back.